Hello, everybody. How am I getting that to work? That's probably a bit better. All right. Good afternoon. It is Monday. We'll be doing the scan this morning, or this afternoon, sorry. And, yeah. Whew, what do we got? This is brought to you by FTX, by the way. This is going to be a full market scan of the FTX perpetual contracts, for which we will create a watch list based around the cradle trading strategy and finding the best trends available for us to essentially look for shorts, because that's the way the market looks. I hope you all had a great weekend and a great Mother's Day to all the mothers and the children, which are all of us. I hope you enjoyed it and gave a lot of mum to the lovers, a lot of love to the mothers, I meant to say. Okay, so good day, Bobby, and everybody else out there. If you like the content, please hit like. That'd be great. All right, so yeah, right. Let's get down to the weekly for a start with Bitcoin. I mean, 6 weeks down in a row now. Since we had that glimmer of hope, but we had this high low over here. Then we went, ba-doo. Thanks, Hernan. Then we shot up over the next few weeks from this higher low, and we pushed up to a higher high on the weekly, and it was starting to look good. It was starting to look pretty good. Things were going the right way. We had the weekly in an uptrend. We had our daily as well back at that stage in an uptrend, and it was looking a lot more rosy. We just gone through a really good run after a very, as you can see, very volatile period. If we also look at the 1 month candle, at that time, we'd broken up through the high of that monthly candle. And as I say, things were starting to look a little bit more positive, a little bit more bullish. But then we saw it come off. We held above that 40, was it 46.5? Yeah, 46.5 or thereabouts, or 46,000, sorry. We held above there. We closed above there, and then we ended up going heavily down the following week, down again the next week, down, 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 until we have a decent down week this week of 11.5%, no small feat, 4,427. One of the things I think is important to touch on right now is just where we are. So if I just use this weekly and back out a bit, our last all-time, hang on, I'll use this, show a bit more data here. Last time, we saw this big run up on Bitcoin to about 20,000. What was the high? 20,093. And we came all the way to a low. How much later was that? That was, where were we? We were December high of 20,000, December 17, a low of 3,121. Basically a year later, a full year it took us from the high to the low of that move, all right? And of course, a dramatic fall from a very strong run. We then saw another really good run up throughout 2019, and then throughout 2000 and sort of second half of 2019, all the way up to kind of back into 2020, wasn't it? We didn't see a great deal. We were a bit all over the shop. Some big weeks. There was no doubt. There was, definitely some big weeks in there. Big selling weeks more than anything else. And it took us all the way to the 7th of September that week, where we got that little bullish candle on that weekly, which was when I was starting to get long again and starting to look at things with a different set of eyes. Got that right. We did really well. We hit the all-time high, first all-time high over here. A few months later, then we hit another all-time high over here in November. But look at the difference in prices. That's what I want to get at. We went 20,000 all the way down to 3. That was a decline of, let's have a look, it's still roughly 84%. What would that get us now? Just out of curiosity, down to about 10,000. Wow. That's a long way away. And the market has changed a lot since then. There's a lot of institutions involved. There's a lot more people in crypto. In 2017, when the market came off, it was more like, will Bitcoin be around? For many people, especially in the media and whatnot. Now, it's not so much, well, I don't think the conversation is, will Bitcoin be around? It's when will it stop sliding? And that's the difference. We're sitting around after having come off already, quite a significant amount. We've done about 50%, I think. Bang on. About 50% decline from the all-time high that we saw. Don't forget as well, from this all-time high, we also saw a 50% decline before then racing back up. My point being here is that Bitcoin is very volatile, okay? It doesn't always do what you want it to do. It doesn't always do what you think it's going to do. And being a perma bull, as long as it's a long-term thing, is fine. But seeing people out there in especially Twitter, the second it goes up a little bit, everyone's back to bullish and the market's going higher and we'll never see this and we'll never see that. You'll never get Bitcoin for under 39,000 ever again and blah, 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 blah. But here we are. It's best not to try and think too much when you're in crypto. Make good investments and think long term. When you're trading, however, the idea is, again, I don't like to think when I'm trading. I'm focused on what is in front of me. As you can see, coming back to this higher low here, it is now broken. So now we do not have a weekly uptrend. We don't have a weekly downtrend because we have a higher low, high to low, but we do not any longer have a weekly uptrend in play. What does it look like to you? It looks very, very red. It looks very, very bearish. It has continued to sell off the last 4 days. After everyone was telling me that, not everyone, but after social media was telling me that we'll never see Bitcoin under 39,000 again, we have declined nearly 15% over those 4 days. And we were holding pretty well in and around 40, a bit above, a bit below, and we weren't sliding too hard until, of course, recently. With the slide that we're seeing right now, it is a very strong move lower. I do not see any reason for the market to bounce from here, but in saying that, don't forget, it will do whatever it wants to do. I'm going to be doing what I want to do, and I'm going to be focusing on the momentum where it is, and it is to the downside. So today we'll be looking for downtrends. Look, if we find an uptrend, hurrah. But I don't think we're going to find too many uptrends out there. It's definitely momentum to the downside. And don't forget, if you have not got your FTX trading account set up, you can get 10% off your trading fees in the description link below. It's going to keep helping you out. It's going to put more money in your pocket, and that's a good thing. So go get yourself stuck into that. Looking at Bitcoin right now, I'm going right to the lower time frames to start things off. Why? Because here on the 4, we had that big fall. We went sideways. We fell again. There is not great cyclicity here. What I'm looking for today is more than likely going to be on the lower time frames if we continue to move lower, and it will be looking for lower time frames to trade boosters, cradles, and breakouts. That's the plan. And whilst we do have a lower high here and a lower high here, we're going to need Bitcoin to fall a little bit harder before that trend really starts to come and become tradable, I should say. So let's go ahead and have a look at the whole list. Obviously, the whole top 10 has been down. Luna's just had a very quick fall of 3%. But I'm going to take you to the FTX perp list. And by the way, if you want these lists, all you have to do is go to TRADERCOBB.com, register yourself for the, getting yourself into at least become a trader, and into the members area there, you'll see these lists are available, and they will be updated shortly again, as well as more contracts have been added to my list here. So that's how you go and get it. So I ended up catching Yearn on the 2 hour from your watch list, currently at 10-1 profits in the bank. So that's for that, mate. No dramas, Bobby. Good on you, mate. Good to hear. A 10-1, always welcome. And if you're still in it, a lot more potential downside given the market is looking very weak at the moment. Okay, so coming into 1 inch. I can't look at this as a daily trade because we go high to low with no daily trend, but I can see the consolidation there, and this is what I'm looking at. I am looking to see, and there's a number of these levels, these little flat levels out there on the 1 hour. I'm seeing if we can build into that, into this level here. Potentially a third test will give me a stop loss for a breakout. Now, I'm not here to do breakouts because that's what you get on the actual course. This is cradle-based stuff. If we broke down a pullback into there, I think I'm going to have to be working on these lower time frames today. Let's just double check that. I did my scan a little while back at 9 this morning. Yeah, and there wasn't much in the 4s. So again, we've got lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This I want to see extend further. So what I'm going to be looking for within this watch list, the markets that have already had a bit of a move to the downside, because the next pullback could offer me the opportunity. So whilst I am going to put the daily up there, I'm going to stick with the lower time frames here. Probably the 1s, so I can flick between 1, 2, and 30. Cardano, not a great deal to work with there. I'm looking for good, strong trends. Our Adventure Gold starting to dip. It's got to do more. Any tips for someone holding half their portfolio in altcoins that are already down 50%? Unfortunately, Jake, not really. My objective when I'm holding altcoins is to make an investment into a project and a business that I can see having long-term growth. And then waiting. In saying that, when they do go really well, you know, that bull market that we had, well, it's the double bull market really. You know, we went down and back up again. That's when I'm looking to sell out. I'm looking to take a lot of profit off there, so I can lock in my stake that I've invested. Plus, I can make a profit and have some stable coins for times like these. You know, if I do find good investments. But otherwise, doing it midway through, you've not planned for what you want to do to start off with, and it can get a little bit nerve-wracking and you can make the wrong decisions. So unfortunately, Jake, I make my plans, well, unfortunately for you, I should say, I make my plans well in advance so I can just stick with them. And I don't have that jittery feeling. I mean, my portfolio is down massively too, don't get me wrong, but I've taken a bunch of profit off of that. And I'm comfortable for whatever happens, you know. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so again, another one. We got to go further than that in my eyes. I want to see us fall further to give me that cyclicity back. There's going to be some in here, I'm sure. Nothing there on algo. Alice still on that consolidation period. Nothing there. Alpha. Hernan, I tend to, what I can, I mean, I do hold on my trading accounts because I need collateral to be trading with for my margin trading. But most of it's on a like a cold storage wallet just to keep it nice and safe. Alt perp, yeah. So it looks like at the moment a lot of this market is just starting to come off. You know, we're an hour or 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes into the new trading day, and therefore into the new trading week, and the market is starting to sell off now. I want to see these. See, this is what I really was looking for this morning as well. Look, lower high. Back in, little cradle. I'm not saying that was a great trade. I'm just showing you it's back in the cradle zone. Fall, back in, fall. And then we got a little bit wild here. This is the sort of cyclicity I want to see. And I want to be taking these types of trades here, right? So what I'm trying to find now is not just a lower high and lower low. I'm trying to find something that's got a bit of a set momentum, a bit of a set trend in place. Atom. I'm going to start listing these, actually. I'm going to start listing them into the blue list. When was it? Because it's not going to hurt to have a list of them. That if we do see the market continue to fall, then I've got a list of those that are already, you know, that will have those trends in place that I can start to scan for those pullbacks for the cradle zone. Axie, nothing. I'll go back to the one. Sorry. Look, it's trending on the one, but it's not doing a great deal, and there's no interest. I'm not interested in getting long in here at the moment, especially with this massive daily momentum to the downside. I'm just going to stick with the simple play, which is going to be to follow the trend. That's it. Okay, balancer. Well, we got a lower high, we got a lower low. That's going to go into the blue list. So I'm just going to focus on these half-hour trends for now, unless I see anything else. The bow's too thin. And the other thing it does is by being on these lower time frames, we can see if a chart looks like this, it's very illiquid. Not enough liquidity for me to trade. Increases the risk of slippage, and I don't want that. So leaving BAT, Bitcoin Cash needs to move lower there. Bit down I can leave. Binance. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Whoa, that came out of nowhere. Nothing there. Ooh. By the way, those of you who have done the Become a Master course on the website, because we've got all these different lower highs as well, do not discount the opportunity for boosters, because a couple of these do now have 2 lower highs. Boba. Yeah, Boba. That's a big decline. Not looking very pretty in there, is it? No. I can leave BSV. Too thin. Got to move more than that on C98 cake. I'll jump across to the 4, see where it's at. A little bother. If it had closed up here, we could have looked for a potential short there, but what is that support level? Oh yeah, it's there, so probably won't be looking to short into that support. Just don't want to see it bounce back on me. Again, looking for these downtrends on these lower time frames. Okay, I might just stick with the 30 here. A little bit deep on the pullback there, so not one of my favorites. I'm looking for the nice cyclicity to already be available. CRO. It has certainly been in decline. Let's check that 15. So you can see here, lower high here, lower high here. Excuse me. Check the 30. Lower high, lower high. Oh, I don't know, man. If I'm going to trade that, it's probably going to be the 15. I'll pop it on in a little. If I pushed a bit further even, a little bullet bearish candle in that cradle zone on the 15. Again, the lower time frames are going to be the focus today. They are definitely going to be the focal point, especially if we do continue to decline. So a bit spiky here on CVX, on Convex, no interest there. Dash a little bit all over the shop, no interest. Something happened on Dawn, don't know what. We go high to low there, so DeFi is going to be missing out there on the list as well. So too will Dent. Okay. Now here's one. I spoke to my members in live trading for this morning about this. So whilst everything else has been on a fairly steep decline, and I know, if we go from the high here, we can say, well, there's been a steep decline on Doge as well. However, that was one singular day. If you just look at this range through here, right? So you go between 15 cents and, I don't know, 12.5, something like that. Doge hasn't really had that much of a decline. It hasn't really fallen like, say, even Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Over the same period, we've come off like 50 odd % or whatever it was. You look at Doge. Where are we? See how it's not had that massive decline? What does that mean? Well, does it mean that we're going to, if we do break down through these lows through here, there's a little bit of support just there. Does it mean that we're going to see a really large move to the downside? I don't know. However, there's good convergence on these lows. It looks very weak to me, and it's starting to come off. So let's have a sticky beak. A squeaky beak. Let's see that on the 4 for a sec. Yeah, okay, that's those lows. And those lows, it's not a tradable level for a break, but it is definitely an area of support through there. We can clearly see that nearly, broke down there, or, this is a messy area. Didn't quite get there, hit there, broke there. If we were to break down through there, some of the options available could be on the higher time frame. If you look at this on the 8 hour, there's a very clear lower high, back down. If we were to see a couple of days pushing lower, a pullback into this level could give us a very good short option. Oh, God, I feel like I'm going to sneeze all the time. Sorry. Otherwise, it's the 30 here. A push down through the 30 and a pullback in for a cradle or a booster, absolutely, I would be interested in that. And as we can see now, a bit of red starting to come across our market. Starting to see that weakness creeping back in. Dot has certainly seen better days. Lower highs all the way through, but not much cyclicity really there just yet. I'm going to leave it. Dragon, what was that for? That was for the 4. Yeah, that's in my other list for members. There's definite support there. A breakdown, a pullback in, sure. But for now, if you know what the breakout is, you'll be looking at that. Otherwise, we'll stick to these lowers. Eden. Quite a thinly traded market, this one. Yeah, look at that again. That little blocky, funky looking chart. No interest in that. Elrond, again, nothing really to work with at this stage. The 30s telling a slightly different story, but I'd prefer to see that trend get set a little bit better. Engine, we go high to low, so I can't include that. Ethereum name service. Nothing there. Quite a dip right now, though. 3%. It's sort of leading the way. Okay. So those of you who have the breakout strategy, possibly a test here, a little rebound, that could be worthwhile. That being said, it's not looking all that crash hot right now. That level could be a pullback point. I'm just going to leave EOS for now. I don't see enough there. Another little level here on Ethereum Classic. But I am looking at it on this 1 hour, and I would like to see another test. It's got a fair bit more work to do before that becomes tradable for me as a breakout. Okay, what has Ethereum got in the 15? And that big decline. I'd say Bitcoin's probably looking to break yesterday's lows at the moment as well, potentially. The thing I do like about Ethereum is obviously the liquidity. So I'm not going to suffer the slippage, even on a lower time frame. I'm going to have a bigger position. It is freezing, by the way. I'm going to have a bigger position, and Ethereum being that it's the second largest market cap, it's highly likely that we will get what we need from that as far as liquidity goes. I'm just going to back this up with the 30 and see, is the trend that there is a lower high there, and there is a lower high here. Look, I'll pop it in. I'll pop it in for now. If it did take its time, I don't want to see it just rip straight back and be too deep. If it takes a few candles like that and gets us back up into that cradle zone, then yeah, sure. On the 15, I'm open to it. Not majorly interested there on exchange per backing away. Nothing on feeder, file, not enough cyclicity there. Flamingo. Excuse me 1 second, guys. That's better. Okay. Okie dokie. A little bit thin for the lowers on Flamingo. I wasn't sure about that. It's fine to trade in the higher time frames, but the lowers I'll probably be leaving that, especially since we do have some more liquid markets that are offering some trends. Realistically here, I want to see it bounce and then come back in for a breakout. Otherwise, yeah, no. Right now, nothing really there. Mr. Ether, I have been short my entire BTC stack since 42,581. I am now 2x short. Well, make sure you take your profits along the way, or at least have your plan in place. You know, that's more important than anything else, really. If you've got a plan, then you should do well from that because, yeah, it's already doing well, right? Good stuff. FTT. Again, not quite the cyclicity I'm after just yet. I'd like to see a little bit more than what I'm seeing there. What's that for? Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was for there. Ah, nice. So you have scaled back a little bit. I'm going to take that out of my other list. It needs to get a better trend than that. Gala, I can leave. GLM, I can leave. GMT will be left. GRT will be left. Again, focusing on those really crisp trends. I reckon we'll see a decent pump on Bitcoin before real bear market. Well, I'd have to say that at the moment, it's pretty hard not to consider this being a real bear market. I mean, I don't see any real bullish sentiment out there when it comes to the charts. I'm not talking about people. There's always some people that are bullish. I'm still bullish Bitcoin, but that's on my 5-year outlook. You know, for the time being, I'm seeing it really short. I'm seeing it lower. It held for a while, and it's like just over the last 4 or 5 days, it's let go. It's gone, I can't do it anymore, and it's coming off, and it looks as though it's continuing to come off as we lose more and more green in here. Risk management and profit taking are key. I have learned a lot from watching you and others on YouTube. Oh, great. Thanks, Robert. I'm glad. That's what we're here for. Not just me, but the others out there. I'm going to leave Horby. Hump. Whoa. Whoa. Nothing to work with though. When alt season. It's alt season now. They're all tanking. You just got to short them. Immutable X. No. IOST. No. Again, looking for that cyclicity. We get a plan. We stick to that plan. That plan is a half hour for now. Looking to find the markets that are trending the best. Carver. Okay. Lower high, lower high, lower high. It's diving quite hard and fast at the moment, but when it does slow down, or if it slows down, a pullback in, yes, I will watch Carver and have a look at it on the daily. It has really copped a flogging of late, and the free fall continues. So yes, we'll be watching that closely. It's a bit of a shame that broke through. Let me just look at it on other time frames. It's a little bit thin too by the look of it. Just one other thing to notice. Looks a little thin. I'm not going to add that to the list just yet. I think there's better options out there. Kilo Shiba. Or Kilo Shib. Wow, we're really getting a move on now, aren't we? That market's starting to slide. That can go in. It looks as though the trades aren't going to be set right here, right now. But with these trends, with this, everything's starting to dip. It's the first part of a two-part series that we need to see. The first part being the trends get really good. The second part being the pullback's nice and clean. The third part being the small bearish candle. The fourth part being going through the rest of your rules and your checklist. Leading Leo, Lena coming off hard. Link, okie dokie. Let's have a look at what that level is. Is it still of relevance? Might need to go to the daily for that. Geez, that was a long time ago. I don't think I'd say it's not relevant. Oh, it's been broken once. It's definitely a strong level of support there. There's no doubt about that. Am I going to let it bother me, though? That's the question. I don't think so. Not at this stage. Check that 1 hour. Make sure there's a trend. Not the clearest of trend. I'll probably leave Link just for the time being. Everything's red now. Look at that. What do you know? Everything's powering down. Powering down. Probably leave looks off just for now. Not enough cyclicity. Loopring, no thanks. Litecoin, wowzers. 2.3% in 1 half-hour candle. There's nothing that'll work with just yet, however. Is that at support? $90.65. That takes us all the way back to 20. Yeah, okay. All right, just seeing if there's anything else I could read into that. It appears not at this stage. Nothing useful for me anyway. Terra Dog is getting a flogging. Wish I was short from there. There's not too much that I'm willing to do just yet on Luna. Just that trend doesn't quite. It hasn't established it has not established itself all that well. Mana. Double check that one. Is there a downtrend? Not the clearest of downtrends. I will leave Mana as well. Maps, nothing to work with there. Matic is starting to come off with a lower high and a lower low. We'll check the 15. That's a little bit too far up. It's not really got that set cyclicity. The 1 hour doesn't really have a good trend, and it's not very convergent. So we'll move past that. We'll move past this. It's too thin. Far too thin. So what I'm doing here is when I'm looking at the 30 as my main time frame for entry, you know, a little cradle up in here or something, I'm flicking across to the next higher time frame because that's one of the essential rules. You've got to have the next higher time frame in a downtrend. And I shouldn't say 9 times out of 10. A lot of the time, what we're seeing today, especially, is that going to that next higher time frame, we just don't have that trend. We do not have the next higher time frame trend giving us much value. So whilst the 30-minute here, lower high, low, looks fantastic, the 1 hour, we'll try and pinpoint the exact lower highs. That's a single candle there, it's a single candle there. It's not enough for it to be considered to be a downtrend. Then you drop to the 15 and see if there's anything really there. And until we start to stretch out a little bit more, we just don't really have what I'm after at this moment in time. And don't forget, while I am looking for shorts, absolutely looking for shorts, I'm also very aware of the fact that, the crypto market does whatever it wants. And we could just as well have a 8% day in the green today as we could have the same in the red. I'm just following the momentum here, and the momentum is to the downside. So I'm not getting myself overexcited and going, oh, the markets are going to crash, the sky is falling, I got to load everything up short and make a mozza. No. Staying focused on what it is that I do. I trade the markets, I read the trends, I keep it simple. That's it. Now, whilst MOB has a higher low on the 1 hour, and we are in the cradle zone on the half hour, we cannot forget the fact that there is overwhelming downward momentum. And here is another reason why we take profits. So look at this. We went in that day, what was that? 115% in a day. And then if you didn't take it, ouch. But that's okay. Sometimes you just need one of those big boppers to teach you. Nothing there on metal. Look at this for a beautiful run. Question, Craig, if the 4 hour and daily are not trending, but the 30 and the 1 hour and 2 hour are, do you make an exception? Well, if I'm trading a cradle, I just need the 30 and the 1 to be in agreement. I don't need to go to the 2 or the 4. When the market starts to move with a bit of more momentum, yeah, I will make exceptions. At the moment, though, what we're seeing a lot of is that we do have a lot of 4 hour downtrends, and we do have a lot of daily downtrends. So for me, I'm pretty comfortable looking at these lower time frames, knowing that, sure, maybe the 4 hour trend's not ideal for taking a trade, as in, a lot of them have just not had too many actual pullbacks. They've just dropped, a little pullback there, but is that a good trading pullback? No. But you can clearly see we've seen a very significant decline. So I'm more than comfortable at the moment, given the downward momentum, to be looking at the lower time frames. So without having to sort of flick around them so much, I'm just focused on these on these lowers here. I hope that helps. Again, I'm going to leave that. The 1 hour doesn't back it up quite well enough in my eyes. Same again there. Geez, I probably shouldn't have worn thongs and board shorts today. It is cold. And when I say cold, I mean Australia cold. It's like probably 18 or 17 degrees. Celsius, that is. I'm going to leave Neo. OKB was a level I was watching this morning. It broke there. I can't do much with that now. OMG. Looking for that good trend again. Not finding it. Bit thin on oxygen for me to be looking for shorts there. Gold a little bit radical there. Nothing on purple. I want to see those lower highs coming in and the lower lows like this, but I want to see it set a little bit better. A little bit more momentum with it is what I'm after. Like this, right? So Ray has had a lower high, 1, 2, 3, 4th. Now it's pushed away, nice lower low. Those that are looking at boosters probably want to see it move a little bit further, but we can start using these highs here for that booster. I'll go to the 1 hour, which I think will be downtrending. It's not the greatest of downtrends, that's for sure. There's a lower high, a little one there, and we've come off and we're convergent. So that opens it up for the 30 to be tradable. A pull back in right now into here, that'll be fine. That's going in the list because it's got that. The difference is, look, this was all a bit stuck. This was a bit stuck still. Look at Ray. it's cleared itself out with lower highs and now a clear lower low. And that's the sort of thing that I'm looking for. Well, did anybody, was it this one or there was Rose as well that I put out in the community this morning. Anyone get that? On that 30, what did it work? Potentially, I don't know. At the moment, I'm looking for a retest back into here. So we've broken down now, a pull back into there, possibly even a booster. Let's get that into the blue list. Waiting for the retest for Rose. Right, there it is. 1, 2, 3, back up, back down. You'd have your 1-to-1 if you did take the break. At the moment, booster's looking real good there. I'd say that's probably a 50% right now, maybe a 38.2 off of here. That's really, really nice. Beautiful cyclicity, good trend to pull back into there. I'll just double check the 1 hour. Yeah, so we've rolled over. The problem again I really do have here. Oh, well, to be fair, there's a lower high here. That's the new low, and then we got another one here. It's not really the clearest, I've got to say. Yeah, it didn't look that great, did it, Ash? It needed that one more little pop so we could then get the convergence on possibly both of those. Look, I'm going to leave this in the list and keep an eye on it, that's for sure. It might be the 15 I've got to work, but I'll take my time when this starts to come back up, if it does start to rise back through. I'll leave room for now, and don't forget, because these are lower time frames, one of the things I love about trading the lower time frames is that you might get 3 or 4 setups in a day because the market falls, pulls back, then falls, and you're in the lower time frame, so you've got more options. Good work, Ash. Learnt your lesson, eh? Good to hear. Oh, geez, it's starting to get a bit nasty now, isn't it? Shiba can go in, just for now. I might thin it out again at the end. It's got to dip further than that on scale. Same here. Not much going on there. Looking for that really nice cyclicity that stands out to me. And if I don't get it, skip straight past it, because I'm not willing to trade on crappy looking markets. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Isn't it interesting? Robert's saying it's still falling. This is wonderful. It's just a matter of perspective and what you do. Most people don't realize that they can make as much money on the way down as they can on the way up. They've just got to learn to trade. Most people don't want to invest in themselves. They just want to try and do what someone tells them to do. I don't tell you to do anything. I teach you how to do it, and it's up to you. Sure, probably not as successful a business model as everyone out there just spoon feeding people, but I don't care, because that's not what I do. I help people. So yeah, those that are short are just clapping their hands together. Those that are not, they're not clapping their hands together. Those that know how to trade are doing what I'm doing, what you're doing right now, and we're looking for opportunity. You know? So yeah, it's just if your skill set allows you to make money in a falling market, well, you just got to find the time to make it, right? Find the time to do your scans, to find the trades. Whoa. Ton coin. Doesn't I know that FTX in the US have I think it's $100,000. You've got to have $100,000 in there to be able to trade margin. But don't we what's the word I'm thinking of? Kraken. Doesn't Kraken offer margin trading as well? I thought they might have. I thought they did. I thought we had clients that were trading with Kraken. I know some people use VPNs and that sort of thing. I know that's not legal, and I'm not suggesting that either, by the way. Okay, downtrend here on TrueFi. It's there. It's not the clearest looking trend. The 30-minute is there. That is a clear looking trend. That's going to make the list for sure. At this stage, I'm just going to keep this one chart up with the 30 because that is the time frame of choice. I'm going to leave it off for now. Not quite got what I want. 15 on them maybe. Nah. Again, it's just falling too far. You want to have that nice fall, pull back. Fall, pull back. Not fall. You want it nice and smooth and clean so the moving averages aren't too far separated. Nice, clean pullbacks. Whoa. It's done a big move over the last little while as we hone in for 1,000. Not much to do there though. Not much there, not much there. Zilliqa, no. ZRX, no. And we're back to Bitcoin, which is now down 1.5%. The slide continues. Yesterday's lows taken out. Where could we go to? That's the question I get asked frequently. Where could Bitcoin fall to? It could fall to zero. I highly don't think it will do that. I really don't. I don't believe it. I think it would be very, very bad if it did. Not just for us in crypto, but for the world in general. The clear level that stands out to me is back to this support. Okay, that support around that 29,000-ish region, that is the last very strong level of support until we get back down to something like 12,500. There's a little bit through there as well, but it's really 29,000 is the point at which if we do fall there, and look, let's be honest, we could get there this week. It's not much of a stretch from what we've just done over the last 4 days. In fact, let's have a look at the percentage. 12.5%, and we are down there. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see us there by the end of the week. Don't want to scare people, just being honest. That's the support level. That's the reality. We could get there. So let's have a look at our blue list of what we've got. Don't forget, we are focusing wholly and solely at this stage on the 30. And what we're looking for here is if you know the booster, well, we can look for boosters. If you know the breakout, I think most of those will be gone. So it will be a day of boosters and cradles, pullbacks into here, onto AVE, good cyclicity to the downside, waiting for a pullback. And everything having had this slide, you're not going to get a trade for the next probably hour or more, probably 2 hours. Because it still needs to climb back in an orderly fashion, then give the bearish candle. So balance are there. BNT is there. Crypto.com is there. I'll jump back to that 1 hour. Yeah, there are lower highs through there. That's okay. How's it look at the 15? Yeah, probably stick with the 30 there. Pull back in. I want to see it do it properly. Doge. Again, there's that support level through there from the daily. Little bearish candle in here coinciding with the moving averages. That could be good too. Ethereum. Yeah, I might take that out. Was it 15? Yeah, I'm going to take Ethereum out now. It just doesn't have that same chart structure as some of these others above it. Not the same cyclicity. Not as nice a looking chart. Carver. Yeah, I will watch this because if it does creep its way back perfectly into somewhere around here, I'd be open to it. Kilo, same thing, got to creep back in, get these moving averages come down. And when I say creep, I mean I don't want to see it just go zing, straight back up. I want to let these moving averages creep in a little bit closer, and that's going to require some more candles to close for them to sort of keep moving their way along. Raise in there as well. Render on a pullback into this level for a retest of the break. Could be good, could be a booster, as could Rose here, same plan. Shiba, a cradle, waiting to see if it falls, or again a booster. And True, the same thing. Across the board, it will be boosters and it will be cradles and it will be the 30-minute time frame. And it's going to take a little bit of time, but by Jingo, by George, we have got a whole bunch of opportunity. Couldn't have worked out better, to be fair. As I do the scan, the market decides to take its fall, opening up a number of charts for us to consider and watch throughout the day. So guys, that's the scan brought to you by FTX and TRADERCOBB.com. Of course, please do go across to TRADERCOBB.com, get the watch list, get the checklist, get what you need, get on the free Become a Master course. And of course, if you haven't got your FTX trading account, please, in the description below, click on that. You'll get 10% off your trading fees, full stop. 10% off, happy days, go get them. And yeah, we could have some good options today, guys. Bye for now.